So yesterday I noticed a message on Instagram from Joyce, and it's confirmation about his future with David Haye, Hayemaker and Ringstar Promotions. And I totally forgot all about it after I took a screenshot until literally right now as I'm scrolling through my photos. So anyway, I'll do this video right now for you in case you don't know. Obviously there's been quite a lot of talk about with Joyce, because obviously he's gone to America now. He's training with Abel Sanchez, which is Triple G's and Murat Gassiev's trainer, among others, of course. So he's training over there in Big Bear, California, and he's currently at the Tyson Fury camp as well. And with him joining up with PBC and Al Heyman, there's like a lot of questions as to what's happening with David Haye and Hayemaker. And this is what Joyce had to say. I've been getting lots of messages over the past couple of months regarding my promotional situation and have wanted to clarify things. I can confirm I have parted ways with Hayemaker Promotions. We have parted on great terms and I remain good friends with David and everyone involved at Hayemaker. I have to do what is best for me and my career, and with Richard Schaefer promoting me, Abel Sanchez training me, and my management S. Jam advising me with Al Heyman. I have the best team to help me reach my targets in 2019, 2020 and onwards. I want to thank David and all involved in the Hayemaker team for everything they did for me in my first year of my professional career, and I wish them all the best for the future. Hashtag the Juggernaut. So that is Joyce's statement. So for me, I thought that maybe it was a case of stateside, he will be with the PBC. If he was to fight in the UK, then he will be part of Hayemaker. Because there's been quite a few questions about Hayemaker, which, to my knowledge, haven't really been addressed yet. And I don't know, maybe I'll reach out to Hayemaker and find out myself as to what's happening with Hayemaker and Ringstar. Because obviously, David Haye, Richard Schaefer, they teamed up to create Hayemaker, Ringstar Promotions. They're going to be fighting on the Dave channel and Channel 5 and whatever else, and all these kind of things that were never quite clear. Peter Fury and Mick Hennessy were joining up, and all these kind of big things were happening. And they put on like a couple of shows with like a promise of X amount of dates per year. And we only had, 2 or 3 of them or something like that. And then it just seemed to have died. And no real official explanation has been given, unless of course I've missed it. I have noticed that a couple of fighters who did join up with David Haye at Hayemaker have since left, like Willie Hutchinson, of course, he's left and is now with Frank Warren. Now Joyce and others than that as well. So I'm not too sure exactly what's happening. Now last time that I spoke with Cody Davis, who's of course one of his fighters as well, about a month or 2 ago, he was under the impression that things are okay. So maybe recently things have taken a bit of a turn. Maybe David Haye can't put on the kind of shows that they want, or maybe there's not enough money, or whatever it may be. As I said, we're still waiting on official confirmation, or I believe that we are. So anyway, that is Joyce's statement. He's now left David Haye officially. Is it the right move to go to America? I mean, how many Brits actually make it in America unless you're already a world champion? Now, Joyce, again, I mean, he's not exactly liked in America in some parts, because obviously he's going out there and he's beating up his sparring partners, American sparring partners such as Bermain Stavern and many others. So it's quite difficult to know exactly if he's going to be accepted out there. But ultimately, on TV, he will be accepted. He's part of the PBC. He'll be on a lot of shows, but I'm not too sure if the PBC is the right move for him. Ultimately, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it does seem that they do put a lot of effort into homegrown rather than foreign. Joyce is foreign. Amir Khan tried it, didn't quite work out. James DeGale tried it, didn't quite work out. And others, of course. So will it work out for Joyce? Well, time will tell. It really will. And especially if the rumours are correct that Al Heyman, the PBC, are talking about maybe making moves on UK soil. Maybe joining up with ITV, with the first show potentially even being James DeGale versus Chris Eubank Jr. from January the 12th, I believe that's the new date. So, yeah, with Joyce under the banner, that's going to help sell the product in the UK. The more UK fighters you can put on there, the better, and slowly drip feed and just introduce some Americans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, etc., whoever else is on the PBC books to the British public. So, is this the right move for Joyce? Well, time will tell. Time will tell. And hopefully it is. Obviously, he's a Brit, he's fighting abroad. And it's always good that Brits fight abroad, because usually if we just fight in the UK over and over and over again, and a big opportunity comes up to go abroad, for whatever reason, 9 out of 10 times, the guy who goes to fight abroad, whether it be in Europe, whether it be in America, or wherever it may be, they seem to almost not be the same kind of fighter that we all know in that ring. They just go defensive and almost lose heart. So, not always, of course. There are some exceptions to the rule. But I think that Joe Joyce going over there, being exposed to the American audience, then hopefully he gets a crack at being in a co-main event, a chief support, and ultimately main event at some point. He is only half a dozen fights into his career. He is a Commonwealth champion, but if he's going to be fighting over there in America, unless a lot of Brits or fighters from the Commonwealth, such as Australia, New Zealand, Canada, etc., are going to go there to fight him, then he may end up having to relinquish that title. But anyway, all things come to those who wait, and I suppose we'll have to wait and find out exactly what's going to happen. But of course, his next fight will be on the Wilder and Fury undercard, December 1st at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. So, yeah, I mean, the guy that he's fighting, not great. I think he's already beaten better opposition. He's fighting Joe Hanks. And for me, I think that the likes of Leroy Thomas is better than him. So this is almost a bit of a step backwards, in my opinion anyway. And of course, Iago in his last fight is also a better opponent, in my opinion. But with the likes of Luis Ortiz, Joe Joyce has been calling out Bryant Jennings, Luis Ortiz, Shannon Briggs, you name it. He's been calling out everybody, but none of them have taken the bait. Now maybe he's with the PBC, he's got a bit more about as far as financially offering them. So maybe he can get the big fights. But if that is the case, and you've got Luis Ortiz on the card, when he was calling out Luis Ortiz already, is it too early for him? Maybe, but he was calling him out, so, you know, let's see if the shoe fits. Likewise, on the same card, you've got Chris Arreola. So, quite why he's fighting Joe Hanks, I'm not too sure. When you've already got a Luis Ortiz on the card, you've already got Chris Arreola on the card, as in two fighters that are relatively known. So, anyway, that is what it is. You drop your thoughts below about it all, click that thumbs up, and subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.